Tiger begged the soldiers for help. People burst into tears when they found out the reason. In a deeply emotional encounter, a tiger approached a group of soldiers, pleading for their help in a way that left them stunned. What they discovered about the tiger's plight brought many to tears, revealing a heartbreaking story of survival and trust. Each day, a large adult tiger would appear at the gates of an Indian military base. The striped predator paced along the fence, seemingly trying to catch the soldiers' attention. The soldiers were puzzled, but their commanders strictly prohibited harming the tiger, as these majestic animals are protected by the government in India. The soldiers remained on edge, as some had harrowing experiences with tigers in their home villages. Their growing unease eventually reached the commander, who realized it was only a matter of time before someone might take a fatal shot at the lone predator. Determined to avoid such an outcome, the commander contacted a zoologist from a nearby town and asked for assistance. The zoologist was intrigued by his friend's unusual request, but agreed to visit the military base. Upon arrival, he listened intently to the soldiers' anxious accounts. He explained that such behavior was highly unusual for a large predator, as tigers typically avoid humans and only venture near settlements when searching for food. The zoologist observed the tiger's movements for 2 days. After this, he returned to the commander and suggested that the striped predator did not appear here in search of food. A huge cat, for some unknown reason, was desperately trying to attract people's attention. At the zoologist's request, the commander agreed to allocate some brave soldiers to follow the tiger and try to find out what it was trying to show them. The 10 soldiers volunteered to help, knowing full well that the wily predator was probably trying to lure them into a trap. The zoologist explained to his small squad that they should silently follow the predator, trying not to provoke it into aggression, just in case, taking weapons and supplies for several days. A group of soldiers waited for the next appearance of a large predator at the gates of the military base. As usual, after walking for a while at the fence, the disappointed beast returned to the jungle. The zoologist and the soldiers immediately followed him, trying not to get close to the predator and trying not to lose sight of him. The tiger, of course, noticed the men, but it did not seem to be bothered at all by the fact that the soldiers were following him. The tiger seemed to vanish into thin air. The soldiers had no choice but to make camp and light a fire, leaving a couple of men on duty just in case. When the sun rose, the tigers still did not appear. The soldiers decided that the cunning predator had lured them into his hunting grounds in this way, but the zoologist, in spite of everything, was confident in his conclusions. After some time, the tracker discovered the tracks of the tiger, and the whole squad followed them until they finally reached a stormy river in the middle of the jungle. The tracks of the predator ended at the water, which meant that he had probably swum across the river. The zoologist knew very well that tigers were excellent swimmers, but it was unlikely that he would willingly dive into the turbulent stream, which was most dangerous after the monsoon rains. Suddenly, one of the soldiers noticed a striped predator standing on a small rocky island in the river at some distance from them. The soldiers walked along the shore, found the shallowest and safest place to cross the river, and walked towards the beast. Seeing people approaching, the tiger moved a little to the side. When the men reached the place where the predator had just stood, they heard an unusual squeak, which came from somewhere below and was barely recognizable because of the powerful current. The soldiers began to throw large stones aside, realizing that there was someone under them finally dealing with all the rocks. The group found a small hole underneath them, shining a flashlight. People saw 4 blue eyes that belonged to 2 little tiger cubs. The zoologist realized that the cubs were trapped, and the soldiers quickly pulled the remaining stones aside. It turned out that the tiger was a female who had gone hunting, leaving her cubs in a cave that was later flooded by a powerful current. The cave became blocked by rocks, leaving the tigress unable to reach her cubs. Desperate and realizing her cubs would die without assistance, she took the extraordinary risk of approaching humans daily, pleading for help despite the danger to her own life. The soldiers gently carried the tiger cubs out of the cave and placed them near their mother. They quickly stepped back, giving the distressed tigress space to reunite with her cubs. The tigress began lovingly licking her cubs, while the soldiers watched from a distance, their faces lighting up with smiles at the heartwarming scene. Afterward, the soldiers returned to their duties, and the tigress appeared near the military base just once more, as if to express her gratitude for their invaluable help. Then she vanished into the jungle, never to be seen again. What an incredible story! If you enjoyed this video and want to see more, don't forget to hit that like button, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel. We'd love to hear your thoughts, so please leave a comment below. See you in the next video.